Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to make lesson plan for English poetry. First and foremost, we are going to make the Blackboard entries. Then we are going to write the content analysis. Content analysis is usually a little bit of introduction about the topic that we are going to teach. Today's topic is Helen Keller. So we have written a little bit of information about her, like when was she born, where was she born, a little bit about her family and her disease. Then we have the terminology. Terminology includes words that students might find difficult to understand. So we are going to elaborate them here. Then we have the main idea. And then we have the main fact. Moving on, we have the objectives. For that, we're going to divide the page into two parts. The first part is the objective, and the second part is the expected behavioral change. There are 6 objectives: knowledge, understanding, application, skill, interest, and attitude. Now we have the expected behavioral change. These will be taught to you in the class, so you can fill this column with whatever you are taught. After that, we have the method and skill, the teaching aid, and the previous knowledge. After previous knowledge, we have the introduction, which includes questions. Again, we'll divide the page into two parts. The first column is pupil-teacher activity and the second is the student activity. In pupil-teacher activity, the pupil-teacher will ask questions and the student activity includes the answers that the students should give. We usually have 4 to 5 questions and the last question is always a problematic question. Up next, we have the statement of the topic. This is what topic we are teaching in the class. So today's topic is today we shall study about a greatest writer who was deaf, dumb, and blind. Now we have the presentation. In it, like before, we are dividing the page into multiple parts. Here we have divided the page into 5 parts: topic and skill, pupil teacher activity, student activity, teaching aid, and blackboard work. Topic skill is what the teacher does is called. Under pupil teacher activity is what the pupil teacher will do. The student activity includes what the students will do. Teaching aid includes the thing that the pupil teacher will use to make the lesson more fun and innovative. And the blackboard work includes whatever the pupil teacher will write on the board. The first topic is model reading, in which the pupil teacher will read the passage very carefully. The students will listen the blackboard very carefully. Then we have the imitation reading. Here, the pupil teacher will instruct the students to read the passage carefully and the students will read the passage carefully. Then we have the punctuation drill. Here, the pupil teacher will emphasize whatever misspelled or mispronounced words that the students might come across. The students will pronounce those words correctly. Detailed exposition includes the pupil teacher will explain the difficult words to the students. For example, strange is the meaning of unusual. Blind means the one that cannot see. Deaf means the one cannot hear. Dumb means the one who cannot speak, etc. The students will then write these words in their notebook. In blackboard work, the pupil teacher will write those words on the blackboard so that the students can write them in their notebooks. Then we have the summary. In summary, the pupil teacher will summarize the passage. The students will then listen to the summary very carefully. Now we have the silent reading, in which the pupil teacher will instruct the students to read the passage silently, so that the students can write their comprehensive questions. They're usually 4 to 5. For example, some of the comprehensive questions from today's passage are: who was Helen Keller? Where did she live? Who was Helen Keller's teacher? The students will then answer these questions. For example, who was Helen Keller? Helen Keller was a deaf, dumb and blind girl. Where did she live? She lived in America. And who was Helen Keller's teacher? Miss Anne Sullivan was her teacher. Now we have the evolutionary questions. These are some of them. Write one word for the following. The one who cannot see is called blind. The one who cannot hear is called deaf. The one who cannot speak is called dumb, and so on. Last, we have the home assignment, which includes assignment that the pupil teacher will give the students to do from home. Here, the home assignment given to the student is: question, how did Miss Sullivan teach Helen? So the students will have to answer it. Then we have write T for true and F for false. There are some statements and the students will have to mark if they are true or false. So that is all for today. Thank you and good night.